Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm going to be creating a Bible journaling entry using the newest kit from Felicity Jane. This is Megan. I will have an unboxing link down below if you want to see everything that comes in this kit. It is beautiful, and it had all of these fun butterfly elements in the kit, and so I wanted to incorporate that into a Bible journaling entry as I journal. I think this is John chapter 8. Verse 36 says, "So if the Son sets you free, you really will be free." So I want to journal about how I've been set free. I'm starting a new Bible study at my church. We're going through Breathe by Priscilla Schreier, and the first week is talking about how we have been given freedom in Christ when we become Christians, and how we shouldn't allow ourselves to go back into slavery and be enslaved to stuff and the things of the world and that kind of thing. And so that is where I kind of used as my jumping off point for documenting this verse. And so I have the butterfly die cuts that come in the kit. And then what I've done here off camera, just because it's easier than trying to use my die cut machine and sewing machine on camera, was I use the corresponding die set. So this is separate from the kit. You can add this into your kit, and it matches the stamp set right here that has the underneath here butterflies. But instead of stamping these and cutting them out, I just die cut out of some of the 6x6 papers. So this is also an additional add-on item that you can get separate from the kit, and it has the papers in smaller print. So if you don't have these, you could just use the regular pattern papers that come in the kit, but because the dies are a little bit smaller, I wanted to use the smaller patterned papers. So I picked 3 that I liked. I'm kind of sticking with this pink yellow theme and then this floral, and just cut them out with the different butterfly dies. And then I also cut a piece of vellum out with those dies, and then I just stitched down the center, and so now the vellum pieces can flop up, and I've got these dimensional butterflies. So these are very similar to the ones that I think were in the Brie kit a few months ago, and then I just recreated them with this die set. So I love that you can make your own. So I've pulled out a variety of products from the kit. I'm going to be doing some smushing technique with some Neocolor 2 crayons in the background, and we're just going to keep it fairly simple, I think. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward, and we will put this entry together. Okay, so I'm going to start with the background, and I'm going to do the smushing technique, which is one I've done a million times on my channel. So I have a piece of plastic packaging, and I've sprayed it with some water, and then I'm just scribbling a Neocolor 2 crayon on it. I'm using pale yellow, pink, and turquoise green. You could do this with gelatos, you could do this with distress inks, you could do this with watercolors, you could use this with pigment inks. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this same technique. I just went for this one because I had colors that were paler versions of the colors that I was using with the butterflies and papers and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this like spray of butterflies coming in from the bottom right hand corner. So I'm adding the color from the bottom right hand corner up towards the top of the page, and this is going to just be the background that anchors that spray of butterflies and kind of gives some more definition to the movement that they're going in on the page, if that makes sense. So I am drying in between colors, that way the colors don't mix too much. I'm wanting layers of yellow, pink, and that kind of minty green color. I'm also coming in with a wet paintbrush, picking up a little bit of the pigment and splattering it onto the page as well, and this just gives some little like concentrated droplets of the color, so you get kind of a varying degree of color. So again, I'm drying everything in between. Going to go in with my last color, and this is turquoise green, which actually pairs really well with the kind of minty color that is on the pattern papers from the Megan kit this month. And also going to add some little splatters of that. The nice thing about this technique and these mediums is that they are transparent or translucent, and so you can still see the text through this technique, not a problem. And as a finishing touch, I'm just picking up a little bit of acrylic ink in black with a smaller brush and adding a little bit of this just for contrast, because I am using those black and white butterflies as well. So when I go to stick down the butterflies, I'm trying to concentrate the larger ones in the bottom right hand corner, so it's going to go larger to smaller, and I'm keeping these solid ones more in the margin and kind of nestling them in a way where they're not covering up the text. So if it bothers you to cover up text, you can kind of manipulate this technique so that it works for you, but it's not the end of the world if text gets covered for me. You'll see at the end I do cover a little bit of the text at the top with my tab cluster. I have lots of Bibles that I can study and read from, so that doesn't bother me. I'm just using some dry adhesive on the back side of those and kind of fluffing up the vellum. And then here I'm going to go in with the stamp set, and I've picked out a variety of inks from my stash, no particular brands or anything like that, just ones that had colors that matched well with the kit this month. And I'm using those 2 solid butterflies, and then I'll come back in with a small outline butterfly and just filling in any blank areas and continuing to make this spray of butterflies kind of continue up the page, using the stamped ones to go over the text, because again, this ink is not going to cover the text, and so I'll still be able to read it, and it works. So I just added a few of those outline ones in the black just to tie in the black and white butterflies that I had added. Those are the die cuts from the Megan kit. And I pulled out the Sarah epoxy stickers. These are from last month, and they had a bunch of them in the mint yellow and pale pink that went with this month's kit. So I'm just adding a sprinkling of these in there just to add variety to the shapes and kind of mimicking the droplets of paint that are on the background. And I really love how that, like the softness of this and how that came out. My title is going to say I've been set free, so I'm using the Essentials alpha stickers in mint. These are amazing. I'm going to need to order more because I ran out of E's. So for the word been, I just turned some 3's upside down and backwards and made them E's, and that worked just fine. I don't care that they don't match the E in the word I've. It's not the end of the world. I want to use up as many of those stickers as I can. And then these are the fun scripty ones from the Megan kit this month. These are awesome. So you can kind of, bounce them up and down or have them all in line. You can connect them or not have them connected. They just really are fun and different from the typical fonts that we usually see in alphabet stickers. So this will be the words set free. And I didn't need to do a whole lot of journaling. I'm doing a lot of journaling in my Bible study book and that kind of thing. So I just wanted kind of a statement entry with a small prayer just to document this part of the Bible study that I'm working on. So I'm just going to add a few journaling lines using a ruler. These margins in this Bible are not lined, so I just create a few little lines for myself, scribble a really short little prayer, and then I end the prayer with one of the little puffy stickers from the Megan kit. And now I can move on and work on my tab cluster. So when I saw these paper bows, I instantly thought about turning them into clippies for the top of my Bible. So I have one of these fat, wide gold paper clips, and the back of these bows do have a foam adhesive square, but it's not quite enough to get it to adhere to the paper clip. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of paper from the same 6x6 pattern paper and kind of sandwich the paper clip in between the paper and the foam square. I do go in and add some strong liquid adhesive just to secure it a little bit better. This probably would be better to use hot glue with, but I was lazy. I didn't want to pull out my hot glue and fuss with it, but you probably would have better results. If you're going to sit down and do like a whole bunch of them at a time, that might work a little bit better, and use hot glue. That way you're sure that it doesn't come apart or fall apart while it's on the top of your Bible. So I'm just holding that. I'll place something heavy on it while it dries. That particular liquid adhesive, I will have everything linked down below. It dries fairly quickly, and it dries matte and clear, so that works just fine. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the date on this little label from the kit. I am using an archival ink since these die cuts do have a little bit of a slick surface, and that roller date stamp is from Felicity Jane as well. I'm going to layer just a little bit of this grid washi behind my cluster. That is one of my favorite washi tapes, and it is from Felicity Jane, so that will be linked down below as well for you guys. And here's where I do cover up a little bit of the text. You could avoid this just by scooting everything up and letting it hang over the edge of the page a little bit more, and that would work just fine. going to use some highlighter washi to highlight my verse. Again, that's John chapter 8, verse 36. I used it in kind of a minty color to match some of the mints that are on the page here. And then I can go ahead and slide my bow clippy. I get questions about what the purpose of tabs are. There's no real purpose for me. It just indicates the pages where I've actually art journaled in this Bible. And it just kind of adds a fun little pop of party on top of my Bible. So there's a look at the finished entry. You can check out the blog post over at Felicity Jane for more close-up photos. If you have questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Check out the description box below the video for everything that I used today, links to those. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.